Yo, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to talk about the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to have to make some tough decisions. They have a lot of draft picks over the last few years, and they still do. They've got a lot of good players. But now that they're going to probably be a playoff team for the foreseeable future, they're going to have to cut some players that are good. The teams know that they're not going to trade. Like, look, no team is going to trade for those players because they're like, hey, we're just going to wait for you to cut them. So Keith Smith said, teams are monitoring who's going to get cut. And today, that's who we're going to talk about. I want to hear down below in the comment section, who do you think is going to be on the roster? Why? Who will it be? And let's just get into it, because the Thunder have, first off, the easiest way to go about like who's going to be on the roster is by looking at the guarantees, okay? That's the easiest way of figuring it out. If you look at the Thunder, whose contracts are easiest to waive or is going to be an expiring contract, those are kind of the things. If there is guaranteed money and they're an expiring one, that's one way you can look at it. But heading into, I guess you would say, training camp right now, this is a team that has pretty much you would have to say, an interesting mix of players, as you can have 20 players on the roster. Okay, Davis Bertans, Ousmane Dieng, Lou Dort, Usman Garuba, Josh Giddey, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Joe, Keontae Johnson on a two-way. They can have 3 two-ways, so one of them is Phil. Trey Mann, Vasilije Micic, Victor Oladipo, Poku, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, Kassan Wallace, Ty Washington, Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, J-Dub and J-Will, and Kenrich Williams. So right there, when you look at the current amount of players on the roster, they currently have with the two-way, I'm doing quick math right now, and they're at 19 players, I believe, already, okay, which is pretty crazy. Now that we address how many, Davis Bertans' contract is only guaranteed for $5 million next year, and it guarantees fully if he plays 75% of the games this year. So Davis could be cut, or he could be a guy that we don't even see play or barely plays, okay, until like a month before the deadline, and then they trade him. That way a team can get him for the rest of the season, and then the team would cut him. But J-Will has no guaranteed money after this season, and Isaiah Joe has no guaranteed money this year. So the thing is Jeremiah Robinson-Earl is another guy who his contract's technically not guaranteed unless he's on the roster. So that brings up expiring contracts. All right, Victor Oladipo is the first one that we could say is the most obvious. Victor is injured. He's expiring. That one could be traded, but they could be looking at Victor Oladipo and Davis Bertans as basically $28 million that they could potentially be using to trade. And it's not a bad idea, okay? It's not a bad idea right there. So when we look at this one, I guess you could see Victor Oladipo staying on the roster, but I think they would waive him straight up because there is no guaranteed money, or there's no contract next year is expiring, and they just did it to Rudy Gay. So my first thought, watch out for Victor Oladipo. But the next two guys I think that could be cut is Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, just because his contract isn't guaranteed unless he's on the roster next season. So basically, if they cut him now, they don't have to do anything, and he's kind of the odd man out, and a lot of people would love him. A lot of people would love Jeremiah Robinson-Earl. Power forward who's a small ball 5, tough as hell. The next guy, I love Kenrich Williams, and they've already paid him, so my thought is Aaron Wiggins. Yes, people are going to be like, no way, Aaron Wiggins. Like, guys, in a weird way, I know Isaiah Joe's dope. And I doubt that they cut Isaiah Joe, even though Isaiah Joe has no guaranteed money. Isaiah Joe could be the shocker that gets cut, but I think Aaron Wiggins is another guy who could be shocking to get cut, because with Kenrich Williams coming back, you assume that Ousmane Dieng, all right, Vasilije Micic, and those guys could be the reason why Aaron Wiggins might be the odd man out. Poku, yes, Alexei Pokusevsky could be a guy cut. He's an expiring contract. He could be cut. So I think Poku, Aaron Wiggins, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, or Victor Oladipo are all guys to keep an eye on who could get cut. Isaiah Joe's the shocking one. Trey Mann could be a guy who could get cut with Kassan coming in. He's kind of an odd man out. Same thing with Ty Washington coming in. I mean, Ty and Usman Garuba, two guys that also could be cut, but I doubt they have a bit longer deals. So I think that's how we had it. You have to understand that they have guys now. They're trying to be a playoff team, and they have guys on the roster who are just better, and those guys aren't going to get playing times, and teams aren't going to trade for them because teams are going to be like, why would we trade for them when you're going to have to waive them, and we can just get them on the contract that they currently are by placing a waiver on them, or just, waiting for them to clear waiver if no one gets them and signing them to a deal that we like, So that's kind of the thought process that's going on right there. I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys think of this? Let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe.